Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have come up with brand new 3 interesting chess puzzles to share with you. And if you don't have seen my last chess puzzle video, go right over there. You can see right over here the chess puzzles you can see from my last video. Now let's start our today's chess puzzles. This is our first chess puzzle, and you can see this is a rook win game. Both sides have 2 rooks. Now objective is to win the position with white here. So if you want to solve the puzzle, just pause the video right here and try to solve it. Alright, now who got the right answer? Congratulations. Let's see what's the answer. The answer is surprisingly start with pawn d3 check, just simply fork over the black's king and the black's rook. Now there are 2 different ways that black can capture, either with the rook or either with the king. Now if black captures with the rook, white can simply win the one of the rook, starting with rook h4 check, simple skewer, and after king to d5 and another skewer, rook d8 check. And now king is hopeless. If king goes to e6, and hoping black will take one of the rooks so black can take the other one, but white will play an intermediate move which is called in chess language Zwischenzug, rook h6 check. And with this little check, now white can simply win the rook on d3. Let's go back and see what happens if this movement black captures the pawn on d3. Yes, we must start with rook to b3 check. If king goes to d4, white will go to d2 and wins the rook on d7 with the skewer. And if king goes to e4, white will just simply play rook h4. And we can see in this puzzle, every single time white's rook is making the skewers from every single direction. With rook h4 check, king to d5, which protects the rook, but we can see from the different angle with the other rook, we are making the skewer, and it makes how vulnerable the king is. After this check, rook to d3, king goes to c5, trying to protect the rook, but before he captures the d7 rook, we first should capture the rook on c4. And after king c4, and we ended up with an extra rook. Alright, let's see our next puzzle. This is our next puzzle where you can see a rook versus 2 knights. So in chess, typically the 2 knights and the rook works as the same in the end game, but in this position it's different because the knights are not in coordinate, and we can take the advantage of it. So what's the move to win the game? Very critical move here. Who you want to solve the puzzle? Just stop the video, pause the video right away and think. Alright, who got the answer? By the way, this is very critical solution. I appreciate that and congratulations. The move is very critical. Is the only move is king to b2. Only move to solve the problem. There's a huge difference. Because the main idea for white is just to attack the rook, attack the knight with rook to g3 and knight to g3. Knight on g4. And if knight goes to e6, white is thinking that white can simply attack the 2 knights. White can go rook to e3, but it's not working as black has this tricky knight check, and black's knight can survive. And after king moves, black can save the other knight over here. To stop this tricky knight movement, we have to move now king to b2. That's why now every move is lost for you. For an example, if this knight has 3-4 different squares to move on. Let's have a look very quickly. If this knight goes to h7, we can go rook c7 and we can win one of the windows. If the knight goes to f7 as the same, we can win one of the knight. If now this knight goes to e4, now we can go rook e3 and win one of the knight. Now look at the white's king is out of knight. Like the black's knight cannot give any check to the white's king, so we can available to pick one of the knight. Same here with the knight e6 and rook e3, we can win the knight. Previously, the king was on b3, so the knight blackness could able to come here and give me a check, but this time our king is on b2, so it's not possible. Now last one, with this knight we have like 4 different square for this knight. Let's see. If knight to d5, rook c5 wins one of the knight, and every single time we can see the knight is being skewered by the rook. Even knight j8, this time we have rook g3. Now let's have a look quickly after king to b2. If king moves to b7, as usual we first hit the knight on g3, and we have already seen any of the knight moves we can either skewer from e5 or the g5. If king b6, same with rook g3, and with the same idea follows. So yes, this is the solution. King b2 and followed by rook g3, knight, one of the knight will take it. And if we can take one of the knight, we can easily win this rook and knight endgame. Let's go to our next and the final position, and this is one of my favorite one. Rook versus queen. Very typical. I know in real game this is impossible to game over here, because people will immediately resign if people say that in this position it white places. Now white to play and win the game. Those who want to solve the puzzle, just pause the video right now and come back later. Alright, congrats if you find the very typical idea in this position. Here is a very interesting and waiting move white must make it to win this game. The starting move is first white goes with this little check, knight g6 check, and if king f5, can you find the mate? e4 check, king g5, and h4, unfortunate mate for black. So that's why king has to move to d5. And now here comes the most critical and important waiting move. As you can see, the black king is completely paralyzed from every single direction, as all the squares being protected by the white's king, knight, or the pawns. But one square is not being protected, and that is the square is on c4. So where black king can survive. So that's why, perfect, you guessed it. b3, you're taking control of the c4 square. And now actually black is in trouble. If black play any other random move, for example pawn a5, can you guess the move? Yes, we can simply win the queen with knight e7 check, king e5, knight takes e6, and wins the queen. So then what can black do? Black can literally play so many moves here. For example, black can go with simple checks here. For example, queen c7 check. What you can do? If any checks, then white can simply play king to f6 and threatening knight f4 mate, which has no answer. Even queen d8 check made by knight e7 and force the exchange the queen with the knight. And this endgame is definitely winning for white, because white has lots of pawn with this great pawn island over here. If queen moves any other, for example queen to 8, can you find the winning move here? Yes, knight f4 check, king e5. Next move. Once again you have to go with the same idea, so that's why here's the moving idea is king f6 and knight f4 checkmate, which has no other move other than queen d8, and after knight e7 sack the queen as the previous example. Last but not the least is queen takes b4. Now this time is king f4, then black can survive with queen c3 and taking out this pawn and make sure king can escape via d4. So that is why we have to go in a very forceful continuation. It's easy to guess. Yes, knight f4 check. If king moves any one of this square, and we have knight d3, poke the king and queen. If king e5, knight d3, poke the king and the queen, and wins the king. So this has been a composed puzzle and by author Imedrov from Russia. I hope you enjoyed these 3 puzzles. If you enjoyed these 3 puzzles, consider to subscribe and click the bell button to get notified for my next latest video. I'll try to come up with some other puzzles covering some live tournaments gameplay session and with live recordings. So thank you so much for now, and I'll catch up with you in our next video. Thank you.